Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. This evening we was going to have some replays. I did some replays. They are on YouTube. They're not released yet. I decided to hold off on them replays because the Type 62 Dragon has come up as a pop-up offer. It's come up as a pop-up offer that is about £9. And if you use Amazon store, you can get that down to about £7. £7, or if you don't use Amazon store, £9 for this tank. What an absolute bargain of a price that is. It's the bargain of the year. Definitely, it's one of those tanks that everybody should have because it's just an amazing tank. It's one of the best tanks in the entire game. So let's get to it. We have a couple of great battles, but we are going to have a look at the stats and why it is so good. Now, it is a light tank. It's a Chinese light tank, and I think it was the first Chinese tank in the game. I think it was before the Type 59. I'm not 100% sure. But it has no armor. Literally, people can splash you with HE no problem anywhere on your tank. The turret, the hull, it doesn't matter where. They can splash you with HE, and they could do a lot of damage. So what is so good about this tank? One, the DPM, 2,393. That is a 5-second reload, and it does 145 millimeters of pen on your AP, which isn't the greatest of pen on your AP, but it does have a whopping 250 heat pen, and it has 43 HE pen, which is all pretty damn good. And of course, you can get that up a bit if you use calibrated shells, which I do probably recommend. I definitely recommend using the calibrated shells. It does knock your DPM down a little bit, but not too much, and that will give you a nice 275 mil of pen. You can go through tier 8s like butter with the heat pen. So even though you're not going to pen a lot of heavies in tier 8 with your AP, use the heat and you will just go through them like butter, and that gives it a 5.3 seconds, so 0.3 second reload extra using the calibrated shells, which is absolutely nothing. You drop around 100 DPM or so it's definitely worth using the calibrated shells on this, just to give it that extra heat pen, and of course that extra HE pen. So HE pen is 47, and if you have a look at your armor, none of your tank is anywhere near, well, you've got the turret, which is 45. So you can pen another Type 62 Dragon with calibrated shells on the turret with HE. So that's how good the gun is. Just amazing. It really is. Your aim time, your damage, on your AP is 200, and your heat is 170, and your HE is 300. 3.4 second aim time, which isn't the greatest for a light tank, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Same as dispersion, not the best, but it's really not bad. 0.350, and it has 7 degrees of gun depression to go with that, and it goes 60 kilometers an hour forward and a nice 23 kilometers an hour backwards, which makes all the difference because it's a pokey outy tank. You like to poke in, poke out, get those shots off every 5 seconds, and then reverse into cover. So going 23 kilometers an hour in the reverse is very handy indeed. And of course, all your traverse there, your turret traverse 57.34, and your whole traverse, which is pretty good at 76.322. So a very good tank stat wise. Let's just have a look at a couple of battles we've got, which are truly amazing, and it really goes to show how good this tank can actually be. So we have two battles, both on Canal, actually, either side of the spawn. And first up we have BMM66, one of my good friends, and he's going to play it absolutely fantastic. Now just watch the minimap. It is an encounter battle. Watch the minimap, and I don't know how he gets out of this and actually survive. It's crazy. So straight away there is 2 light tanks on his team, so him and another light tank, and he's opened 1 light tank on the enemy team, or 1 medium on the enemy team light tank, which is the MT25, and now the P43 TER. So at the moment, spotted wise, it's 2 against 2. You can see a couple of tanks there in near the cap, and most of his team have decided to go left. So at the moment it's him and the AMX versus quite a few of the enemy medium tanks and the quick tanks, the light tanks. So he gets a few nice HE shots in the MT25. You can't even really see him, and he still manages to fully penetrate using the HE. And he's got a couple of lucky troll bounces, which will come in handy. Well, they won't come in handy actually a bit later on, because it turns out he won't need these hit points. So the other side of the map, there's like literally 5 tanks versus 2, and they are dying. So now he makes the decision, you know what, I need to run away. I need to run away. And if I'm honest, he may have even survived, but the AMX doesn't survive very long, and now it's his time to run away. So he is going to run away. So there's 2 tanks down to 1, and that was the best decision that he has ever made in his entire life. That is running away from them 4 or 5 tanks in over there. And what he did is exactly what this AMX 1375 should have done, run away. But for some reason, the AMX 1375, an autoloader against 5 tanks, he thinks he's gonna carry the game, but sadly that is not the case. A nice HE shot there, doesn't quite ram him, but he does manage to push him behind the rock, saving the kill for himself. And now they bring it level, or they did bring it level before the SU-152 disappeared. So it's now 4 against 5, and just look at his hit points. I mean, he got shot once. And he managed to get out of there, survive, and still walk away with losing not even 100 hit points. So pretty good job there. He did a very good job at not getting shot, and that will help him because he can play that little bit more aggressive. He doesn't have to play camping wise because he's lost too many hit points. He can actually take a few shots, but at the minute he's got this nice house here that is stopping the SU-100Y, the IS-2, and here comes the Tiger. He has brought the MT-25 down to a 1 shot, 53 HP, so he's going to wait to see if he can get a shot there, but he doesn't want to poke too much because of that SU-100Y. If he's shooting HE, he can almost take most of his damage and put him down to a 1 shot if he gets that shot. But the SU-100Y have had different plans. He just wanted to YOLO into a couple of other tanks, and he didn't survive very long. So all of a sudden he's taken out the MT-25, and they've now bring it down to a 4 versus 3. Complete change of events, complete change from second to none. Literally, they was about to lose, and all of a sudden they are now winning. Gets a couple of nice shots there on the SU IS-2, managed to back up just before he reloads, but he is a 1 shot now, and the Tiger is pretty low hit points, and he will deal with that P43 TER very soon. But he's going to take away the more dangerous targets first, which is this Tiger. He's going to try the HE, but can't quite penetrate him. Does get a nice roll there, 213, and there goes the Tiger, bringing it now down to a 3 on 2. There goes the KV3, there goes the Tiger. So now it's a 2 versus 2, and his last remaining light tank is going to die very quickly as well. So he's still nearly full hit points. I mean, he's lost 300 hit points, not even 300 hit points, and he's in a very good situation now, because yes, it's a 1 versus 2, but they are now both 1 shot, so he can back up, get that shot on the IS-2, and then go and chase this P43. So very, very good battle, very good battle, and I'm surprised on how many hit points he got left with. 952. He lost 300 hit points from being alone the side of the map against 4 or 5 tanks. He manages to come back, not get shot anymore, gets the ace, 3,700 damage, 1,311 XP, which is pretty good. He spotted 3 there. I thought he would have spotted more, but the other light tank would have spotted some as well. So next up we have Sevkick, and same map but different side, and you can see he is rocking the ratings camouflage, which means he's been playing this in ratings and doing a pretty good job. It is a tier 7 in ratings, so he would have come up against tier 8s almost every game, and he still is able to get this camouflage. And that is the thing with this tank. It's good in tier 6, it's good in tier 7, it's good in tier 8. You don't really care if you're top tier, if you're bottom tier or top tier. It's a type 62 Dragon. You can do just about anything with a type 62 Dragon. With a reload like this, with the heat pen like it's got, the HE pen like it's got, it can pen a lot of mediums and even some heavies on the side, and even some heavies on the rear. So it's an all-round great tank, and for the price that it has got, it's just an absolute bargain. You're not going to get a better deal than this. I mean, £8, £9 for one of the best tanks in the entire game is just absolutely a bargain. And if you don't have this tank, you should have this tank. If you've got no money, borrow money to get this tank, because you won't be disappointed. You really will not be disappointed with this tank. It's a must-have tank, and I don't really like selling shit for wargaming, because I do get kind of ripped for it, like, oh, you're just trying to earn wargaming money, blah 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 blah. But no, it's not about earning wargaming money. It's about the price of this tank and the enjoyment that you'll get out of this tank, because it really is an enjoyable tank. It really is. And it's one of a few tanks that you can just roll out and think, you know what, I'm going to play for fun. And you're going to roll out a Type 62 Dragon, and you can roll it out for 10, 20, 30 battles back to back, and you're still going to have fun. And that's very rare in Blitz. I mean, I try and do that and think, you know what, I'm going to play this tank. Have 3 battles and you think, oh, I'm bored, I'm going to play a different tank. The Type 62 Dragon's not like that. It's just fun in every aspect of the game. It's the penetration, the speed, and the ability to get around the map so quick is just amazing. And as I've said, if you're bottom tier and you come up against IS-5s, IS-3s, IS-6s, Tiger 2s, VKs, 100, just use the heat. You've got good enough DPM to spam the heat and still do damage. You do have to be careful, because obviously everything is going to be able to penetrate you unless you're very lucky, like this battle here, 500 block damage, which does come in handy, because he's not going to get left with 500 HP. So he's now bring it down to a 2-on-1. 2 versus 1, and he's going to try and use the HE there. He does miss that shot there, and there is 2 WZs, and he's got to be very careful, because these are pretty good tanks in tier 6. They're pretty strong, do quite a lot of damage, and they're in a platoon, so they're going to be working together. And at the moment, he's in a good position. He's only got 1. He is getting him down to low enough hit points. He hasn't really took any damage from this guy, which is good, because he's going to need that hit points. Now, what he does, he gets baited out, which I saw this happening from a mile away. As soon as the WZ backed up, I knew that his platoon mate would be there, and he's trying to back himself up so his platoon mate can get some damage. But his platoon mate now, he makes the mistake in rushing in. Don't rush into a Type 62 Dragon. It's one of the quickest tanks in the game, and if you're a turretless TD, that is an absolutely stupid move to do. But nevertheless, 6 kills, a Kolobanovsky, 4,800 damage, 1,700 base XP for a tier 7 tank. So that is the Type 62 Dragon, guys. If you've got the money, seriously, go buy it. It's only a 24-hour offer. If you've got the money, seriously, go buy it. It's well worth the money. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon.